Hi, dear viewers. So today I just wanted to talk a topic about caste, community, and do we really need these caste and caste segregations and reservation? Do we really need it or not? So these are the things which I'm going to talk about today because these are the common topics and most of the people, there are a lot of debate on these topics. Some people would say they need reservations, some would say they don't want, and similarly, some would say if we eradicate caste, humanity will blossom. Some would say um, if the castes are there, that would show the identity and all of those stuff. So I would like to talk about these topics today to clarify it, what is required and what is not required. That is my view, and I would um, give the I would leave it to you guys to decide on your comments and what you think about. Okay, so I would like to clarify: do we really need caste? First, let's come to the caste and community. Do we really need it, and how it emerged? So in the ancient times, there is no such kind of in the Stone Age, if you take, there is no such kind of caste. Okay, everybody will be seen as humans. There is no such kind of caste segregation in the Stone Age I'm talking about. Once the humanity start to emerge and once the humans start to grow, and they grow in terms of developments, and they move to different ages, they were able to differentiate themselves in terms of their work that they do. So based on which they all group together. Say for example, all the pot makers would form a community and they would say this is our community name. All the farmers would join together and they would say this is our community name. Like that, based on their work, they all grouped together and they formed the community and they named it in a different way, right? So that is how these caste and communities have come up. Within that community itself, there might be a lot of segregations, and they themselves slightly differentiated among themselves, and they have named it in a different way. Let's take one community name as an example. If you take Parayar community, there are multiple Parayars. So there are a lot of Parayars. Likewise, there are many communities in India, right? If you take Modi is a community, Sharma is a community, Bhatia is a community. All of those, each and every, Reddy is a community. So there are a lot of communities across states in India, and all of those communities have some sort of background. They all have some certain reasons why these names have come up for them, and generally, in the initial stage in India, it has been created mainly because people wanted to segregate themselves in terms of work that they do. That is the reason they wanted to have these kind of communities. But later on, within that community, there might be some segregations, and they have splitted themselves. But as long as they are with one group and they are differentiating themselves with the work that they do, there is no issues. The issues arises when they try to prove themselves they are the superior ones when compared to the other communities. That is where the problem comes in. So that is how the problem started, and one community was thinking themselves as a best community than the others. Likewise, these kind of conflicts started to arise. So I would say no community is bigger and no community is smaller. Okay, and do we really need these communities or caste? That is the first question, right? I would say it is required. Why? Because it is your identity. If somebody says Reddy, then we know that they are from Andhra or Telangana, right? By telling their community name itself, we know from where they belongs to. Even though they live in different places, we easily identify their identities. If somebody say Parayar, definitely they are from India, so they are from Tamil Nadu, right? So if somebody says I am from Modi and all, mostly that community would be from Gujarat and other sides, right? And if somebody says if by the giving their community name itself, we can identify which part of India they belongs to, or which state they belongs to. If somebody says I belongs to Nair community, we know they belongs to Kerala, right? So by giving those names, we can easily by giving those community names, we can easily identify their identities. If you take Tamil Nadu, today the situation is nobody is allowed to put their community name in their official records. Actually, the government here put that as a rule, and they not. I'm not talking about the current government. Overall, I mean, in the last 4-5 decades, this has been put into practice, and it has been told like it is a good thing. Like Tamil Nadu people are not putting their caste names after the first name. So they are they are saying this as a good thing, but I would say it is not a good thing. Okay, it is actually destroying the identity of Tamil people. Okay, everyone is supposed to put the community name, and it is something like it is their own wish. Okay, so government should not interfere in individual names. They should not determine, or they should not dictate to the people that you should keep your name like this, you should not put your community name in your name. So like that they should not say, because it is a freedom for the people to keep the name in whichever they want. Government should not interfere and dictate how a name should be. So I think that is something like a wrong thing which is put into practice in Tamil Nadu, and it is not a good thing. Though some of the media highlight it like it is a good thing, like when other state people are having their community names in their names, but Tamil Nadu people are ignoring it, or not putting it by following government rule. It is just to delete or remove the identity of Tamil people, so that the other state people can come and mingle and join along with Tamil people, and so that there won't be any differentiation to identify who is from Andhra, who is from Kerala, who is from Telangana, and who is from Karnataka. So in order to so people should not be able to differentiate. That is why they want that to be happen here, because if that is there, if the community name is put behind the people's name, then easily we can identify how many people are enjoying the benefits of Tamil Nadu government jobs, government college seats, and all of those things will come into limelight. Okay, so that is the reason they are actually trying to they're trying to impose this rule, and I mean they already tried, and they put this rule in practice, and people are also following because of that rule, and it is actually deleting the Tamil Nadu people's identity, which is actually an insane, I would say. It should be banned, and it should be revoked, and people should be able to keep their names in whichever they want, whether they want to put a community name or they want to keep it something else. That's up to them. Why should a government to interfere in personal names and people's names? So that should not be the right one, I would say. Okay, so that is first thing. So community and castes are required. However, people should not say that my community is big, your community is low or small. That's the only thing which is not required. But it is just an identity. As long as it is used as an identity, it is correct, it is good, and it has to be there. And it has to be there in your name as well. So that will clearly tell you from which part of India you belongs to, and that is something like you are showing your identity in your name. And if that is not there, then you are losing your identity. Then you cannot come and prove that who you are or which part of India you belongs to. Even if you say, nobody will nobody can easily understand it or easily identify you. So that is the reason I'm saying, don't lose your identities. Instead, keep your caste names and community names in your personal name and continue with it, and that is your identity, and don't lose it. If you take other parts of India, they are all keeping their community names, but only in Tamil Nadu this is not there. So this is something like it has to be revoked from the government side. That is first thing. Second part is reservation. So there are a lot of people say, why do we need to have this reservation? Okay, and this is something like some people are enjoying a lot and some people are not enjoying because of reservation. First of all, the caste name that they keep, right, the community names that was actually kept by each of the communities are fine, but government is segregating this community into certain categories like forward caste, backward caste, scheduled tribes and scheduled. So this is something like nonsense. I would say it's a nonsense. How a caste will go forward or backward? Can someone tell me how a caste will go forward or backward? Is it a living thing? How a caste will go forward or how a caste will go backward? See, it is a nonsense or crap, I would say. This segregation is a nonsense thing, and it was created by certain people or certain community, which I don't want to literally call out, because not just one community, there are a lot of people, people and government are also involved in it. First of all, you should not say a community as a forward or a backward. Okay, this is where the government is imposing or creating these conflicts by saying some community is forward and some community is backward. Who are you to say this community is forward or backward? How are you differentiating which community is forward and which community is backward? On what basis? Okay, this is something like government has to clarify. Why are you saying certain community is backward? On what basis? Are they came from some other planet or what? They are also living like us, right? So I think this is a nonsense or a crap. Okay, this kind of segregation is nonsense. But if they have their original names, community names like Reddy, Modi, Parayar, Chettiar, whatever, those kind of names are fine. But when you group these communities into certain categories like forward, backward, scheduled tribes, that is where the nonsense or crap is coming up. Then some community will come and say, why are we in backward and why are we in forward? And certain people are coming and saying, we are just because we are in forward, we are not getting more reservations. All of those things are coming up. Okay, so don't do that nonsense. Okay, so when it comes to the reservation, first we have to count all the community people. Okay, each and every that is a caste wise count. That is what most of the political parties are stressing, and in every state caste wise count is required or community wise count is required. Then we will come to know, okay, this community is present this much percentage in India, or this community is having 10% presence in India. So based on which we can segregate the total number of jobs, total number of government college seats, or total number of opportunities or resources. In that way we can split it clearly. If 10 people are there, if we have 10 dosas, we can give one each, right? That's how the sharing has to happen. This reservation is mainly for sharing equally. And at the same time, when you say equally, are we currently in equal stage? No, we are not, because 80% of wealth is with 20% of rich people, and remaining 20% of wealth is with 80% of people. So there is no equality here. So in that stage, we have to give more opportunities, more jobs, and more college seats and other benefits to the people who have not even reached that stage, or not even who are not living well. So those people who are already enjoying the benefits, or they are already in rich state, or they are already in good status, they have to have less number of seats or less number of opportunities. That's how it has to be. Then you can then you can remove the gap of this inequality, and then it would be the fair one, I would say. So in that case, what we have to do in the reservation, first of all, don't group them in forward, backward, all that's a nonsense thing. You keep the names as the community names as it is. Just count how many people are there in each and every community throughout India, and then say for example, if 100 communities are there, if you have 1,000 opportunities, you can give 10 each. That is common sharing. But if you take within that certain communities, there are certain people who are already in rich state. So just because blindly going with community count alone will not work. 100 people, okay, 10 communities and 10 people in each of the communities. Okay, let's assume this as, let's take this as an example. 100 people, you have 100 people and 10 communities. So in that case, in that 10 people from one particular community, not everybody in poor state, right? some people would have already in very good shape. So we have to see, we have to get the income certificate also. Just because the community or caste based count will not work, in addition to that, you have to collect income certificate. Those who are poor or in the middle class, they are the one who needs to get more opportunities than the rich one. So that is how the reservation has to be calculated. Say for example, the sharing would be like, within that, say for example 100 opportunities are there, you can easily share it. If it is 10 communities, means you can give 10 10 10. But within that 10, who is supposed to get it first or who is supposed to get later? Okay, so that is what I'm saying. You have to go with income. So if somebody is having a lesser income, if a family is having a lesser income, they should be given the more opportunities than the one who is already in rich state. Okay, so he can manage somehow, but this family cannot manage like that, right? So that is how. So within that community itself, you can give the priority to the people who are having less income, and then you can. So prioritization also here required based on the income. So caste wise count is first thing. First, remove that backward, forward, and all. It's a nonsense crap. Remove that. Keep their community name as it is. Count the people in each of the caste and have the numbers or the percentage, and based on which you split the total opportunities equally, and then within that within that particular community, you can give the priority to the people who have low income. This is one method. Second method is, even if you have the total number of opportunities, instead of dividing it equally, there is another way, like you can directly go for income certificate and you can take the income criteria. Certain communities are completely in the poor income state, or certain communities are already in very good shape. I don't want to point out one particular community, but there are many communities who are already in rich state. Okay, most of the people in certain communities are in rich state. They need to have lesser opportunities because they are already reached a very good state. So in that case, so first remove this this forward backward segregations. Instead, keep the community name as it is. Do the caste wise count, followed by income certificate. That is something like it has to be collected for each and every family. Then we can split the quota for each of these communities, and within that we have to give the priority to the family who are having lower income. So this is how the reservation quota has to go. Then the real needy people would get the opportunities, rather than some communities, though they are having lesser percentage of presence in India, they are enjoying more benefits. There are certain other communities, more number of people are there, but their number of opportunities are very less, and they are fighting for each other, fighting for the opportunities within each other. So this is the problem in India at the moment. So there is no proper reservation happening, and there is a lot of inequality, a lot of variations in per capita income. So these are all the problems in India. So this is something like has to be addressed. So according to me, reservation is required, but it should not be based on your forward caste or backward caste. It should be based on the equal sharing of all the resources present in the country. That is the right way, and it is based on somebody who is already having a lower income. So they are the one who has to be given opportunity first, then the people who are already having better income. Okay, so in that way, the right people will get the right opportunities. The needy one will get the right opportunities at first, and then the remaining people will get that. So what happens currently is, like, if 10 dosas are there in a particular community, only 2 people will be there. Okay, in certain communities 10-15 people will be there. What happens in the current reservation scenario, 2 dosas will be given to 10 people to divide and eat. Okay, in the other side, only 2 people will be there in that community. They will be getting 2 dosas. So they are enjoying their benefits. This is how the sharing is not happening properly. It is an unequal sharing. Okay, some communities are enjoying more, some communities are not even getting the actual thing that they are supposed to get. So this is the reason caste wise count is first. That's the mandatory thing. Then you will come to know which community is higher and which community is lower, and lower in this higher and lower in the sense, the count wise I'm talking about. So which community is higher in the numbers, which community is lower in the numbers, based on which we can clearly identify who is having who is the majority and who has to get more number of opportunities or resources, whatever. Okay, so this is how, and within that community also we have to again segregate based on the income. We have to give the prioritization, then it will be the right method of giving the reservation. That's my suggestion. And caste is always required. It is not just to differentiate people or divide people. It is just for the identity purpose. It is required. And the next thing is like, some people will come and say caste is like, when you are supporting for caste, then you are saying like, you are dividing people, or you are trying to differentiate. No, it is not for dividing people. It is just for the identity purpose. And the next thing is, some people would say this creates conflicts. No, it's not. It is something like in your mindset. There are a lot of people, political people, and the governments are doing politics based on this. If they stop those nonsense, then automatically these problems will go away. And the next thing is like, diversity. So some people say when we have multiple caste, a lot of diversity is there, which is not good. So I let me give you some examples. Okay, male is a gender, female is a gender, transgender is also there. These are all diversity in genders. If you take genders, there is a diversity. Can we eradicate all these genders and can we have only one gender? Because diversity is there. If you're against diversity, then why do we need to have multiple genders? Let's have only one gender. God has not created like that. God has created it with diversity. So that's why he kept male, female, transgender and all. Similarly, if you take animals, there are a lot of variations in animals. If you take even just a butterfly, just an example I'm saying, within that butterfly family itself, there are multiple variations of butterflies. So can we eradicate all of that, or can we have only one variant? That is not practically possible. Okay, so God created this world with diversity. Let's try to be united in that diversity. That is what we have to find out, the ways to be united. So unity in diversity is required. Okay, so don't try to eradicate the diversity. Instead, try to find out ways to be united and look for unity in diversity. Unity in diversity is the message from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam also in one of the books, and also he has mentioned it in some of the stages. So unity in diversity is what required. Instead, if don't look for eradicating the diversity. This country is having a lot of languages, a lot of peoples, a lot of foods. Every 200 kilometers you can see different kinds of food, different kinds of people, different kinds of garments, different kinds of culture. So diversity will be there. Let's have unity in diversity. That's my message. Thank you guys. Bye bye.